So, on this beautiful morning in Sydney, where I am, welcome wherever you are, whether that be evening, afternoon, morning, or night. Wherever you are and whenever you are, know that you are absolutely perfect right here, right now, the way that you are. When I say things like that, people go a bit, I've always got something to learn. I'm not perfect. But think of it this way. You can only know what you know in this moment. You can't know any more. However, in the next moment, you will be more, you will know more. And so you will be perfect in that moment too. So it's just a different way of looking at life and looking at yourself and how we learn and where we're going in life, our path. Now, how does that translate to our higher self and the Soul Star, which is what I'm going to be talking about today? And I will be back in one moment. I'm sorry, somebody is just ringing my doorbell. That's all right, that's divine timing. And maybe you just needed a little bit of time to sit with what I just said, to realise that you are perfect right here, right now in this moment, because you can't know anymore. We are always growing and expanding. And our Soul Star chakra sits about 20 centimetres or about a foot above our head. It's a transpersonal chakra. And a transpersonal chakra just means that it's not personal. It means that it's not in our physical bodies. And actually, if you think of your 7 chakras that most people talk about in their body, I mean, there's others, but the 7 main ones, which are your basal, root, sacral, solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown. These are what we call your personal chakras. So your transpersonal chakras are the ones that are outside of your body. But of course, these ones, their personal chakras, are actually like portals inside of ourselves. So they could also be transpersonal. It's just that we access them through our physical being. Where I'm just going to quickly talk about the Soul Star, what it is, how you can connect to it, and then we'll do a meditation to connect to it, and so that you can feel the energy of your Soul Star. Something that came to me this week, and this is a beautiful time at the moment. It's the space in between the eclipses, because next week, of course, when we have the new moon, we will have a partial solar eclipse. And of course, last week we had the lunar eclipse. And this time in between eclipses is like a portal as well, which is one of the reasons why my higher self wanted me to do the Soul Star today. This time in between, it's really flexible and very anything that you've been holding back, pushing down, it's all going to start to just sort of present itself to you. It's not that it's going to come up and slap you in the face. Well, it might. But let's just ask that it doesn't happen that way, that it comes up in a way that is easy for you to look at and digest without bringing resistance. Because, of course, if things come up and we don't like the feeling of them, they slap us around the face, we're likely to just push it back down again or say, I don't want to deal with that. And we are creative humans who have such amazing ways to create and procrastinate as well, that when we don't like the feeling of something, we can apply many coping mechanisms that we have. And I'm not laughing at us, I'm laughing at myself mainly because I do it. And I've been doing this work for nearly 30 years, and I'm very aware of when I'm doing it, and it's just, being able to recognize it and just shift the energy. You don't have to stop it, but you just want to be able to shift it. Because if we try to stop anything, it's going to resist even more. And when we try to stop something, that's when we're saying things like, oh, you silly idiot, you're doing it again. You shouldn't be doing this. I thought you'd done more work on yourself. La, 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 la. We've got many ways of beating ourselves up. And so when something comes up, which is going to happen in this space that we are in, building up to the new moon, when these things come up, just go gentle. And if you find yourself applying a coping mechanism, and for me it might be, oh, I want something nice to eat. I want something sweet. Or, oh, I need to watch a YouTube video or do some research, or I need to go and read a book. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. As you can see, I've got many books, so I'm a big researcher. And that's part of the work that I do. But it's a very different energy to me being inspired to go and read something that will benefit my work, to, oh, I need more information because I'm not sure about myself. I need someone to tell me what to do. That's a very different way of looking at information. So if you find yourself in that way, and, obviously I did readings for a lot of years. I don't do personal readings. I haven't done them for a few years. But I did them for about 20 years. And often people would ring me or contact me out of the blue and just say, I need a reading. Please help me. I need a reading. And my first reaction to that, or response to that, would be, okay, let's take a breath. And I would get them to ask the question, and then I would say, okay, now you're going to sit with it for 24 hours. We're going to ask your higher self, your soul star, and see what information comes. And if you still want a reading after 24 hours, give me a ring then, or contact me then. Because, of course, my work is about helping you to find your own answers. Now, that doesn't mean that I just leave people hanging. Obviously, if they're in trauma, I would always work with people, or if they really need some help, of course I would. But I'm talking about those times when we just don't think we know enough. And it's like, I need someone to tell me what to do. I need someone to give me the answers. And I'm always encouraging you to first look for the answers within yourself. Then bring that information to a reading or a session or a coaching session or a counselling session or a mentoring session. I do all of them. And then it's like we're starting at a completely expansive place where you're going to be much more fulfilled and satisfied with the answers. Because I don't have the answers for you. I can give information to you. I can see your energy. I can feel your energy. I can see a timeline that you may be moving on. And just as a little sideline to that, what I noticed over the years of doing readings for so long was that as more and more people were awakening and expanding their consciousness and beginning to raise the vibration of all of us. And that doesn't mean that that's good or bad. It just means that raising your vibration means that your awareness expands. You're now vibrating at a level where there's more information coming to you. And that ties into what I said at the very beginning about we are absolutely perfect in each moment because we can only know what we know in this moment. Our life experience causes us to ask questions and expand and become more. And this will naturally, your vibration you'll tune into higher vibrations. Your actual natural reality is a higher vibration, not because it's better than lower, but that's because that is the frequency of your soul star or your higher self or your inner being, your authentic being, and it is just something to be aware of. Now, see, it's that same thing. People ask me, how do you increase your vibration? The best thing you can ever do is just laugh. And I know that sounds incredibly simple, but think of it this way. Raising your vibration is not a verb. It is not something you have to do. Right? We've got to get rid of that, because your natural state of being is already vibrating at a higher place. Now, we use higher and lower because it's a measuring system. But high doesn't mean better and low doesn't mean worse. Low tends to mean you're a long, long way away from your authentic self, from your soul self. You are believing other people's beliefs. You are believing things that you have been taught. When you think these things, you don't really feel that great. You're in survival mode. We think we have to do it to survive in this world. That's separation. And so the more you separate from your authentic self, and we all know what our authentic self feels like, it's just that we've wrapped so many beliefs and ideas around ourselves that we can't sometimes hear our authentic self. And if we believe that for 50, 60, 70 years, these beliefs that we've wrapped around our authentic self, which are other people's thoughts or things that we think we have to believe in to survive, they become really anchored. They become anchored where they are. And we become anchored in those beliefs. And that's what momentum is. That's what the law of attraction is. The more you believe in something, the more it is true for you. So yes, Kay, everyone does vibrate at a different frequency. We are all individual aspects of the source, like an individual fingerprint. And our Soul Star today will help you to tune into that. So raising your vibration is not a verb, it's a noun. And the way that you raise your vibration is to get to know yourself, is to clean up your energy, is to figure out what is your truth and what is somebody else's truth. There's nothing wrong with truth in this world. There is just what resonates with you. And when you find what resonates with you, you just let everything else go and you let everyone else believe their truth, whether you agree with it or not. Because as Kay is saying, yes, we are all individuals. And we never want to fight against something, because that will, of course, separate you even further. This is about accepting, and accepting is not a great word, because people tend to think that if I accept, I just have to tolerate what's going on, and that's not what I'm meaning by that. Accepting is just allowing everything to be there. If you like something, if you don't like something that you're focusing on, it's there. And all the pushing it away or all the pulling it towards you isn't going to change it. It just is the way it is. It's us that puts the stories onto that. So yes, I went around the houses then, and that was a bit complicated about how do you raise your vibration. The easiest thing to do is I'll use Abraham Hicks' analogy, because it's a beautiful analogy. So what they say is that the truth of you is enlightened. It's already a high vibration. And again, higher doesn't mean better. It just means that's where you are resonating. And it's a way that we measure, because we need to measure things as humans, because we live in duality. Now imagine that your authentic self is a cork. A cork like we put in the top of wine bottles. And all of your beliefs and ideas that you're hanging onto, the things that are not true and authentic for you, all the unworthiness you feel, all the times you beat yourself up, they become these heavy burdens which push the cork down. So imagine the cork is floating on the water, and where it is floating on the water is your authentic self. It's just in the flow and it's bobbing along. Now all the beliefs and ideas make it heavy and push it down under the water. Now we have resistance, because you're resisting, you're separating from yourself, and you are resisting what's going on in front of you, what's going on in your life, and it gets pushed down. So as we just let go, and letting go again is not a verb. Letting go is sort of coming to balance and peace with what is going on, and you just let go, and the cork will bob straight back up to the top. So that's the mechanics of vibration raising. However, something came to me this week. I was talking to I was conversing with my higher self, and I was asking, how do I help people and myself to tune in to our soul song, to tune in to the vibration, the frequency of who we are? Right? We all get it, because there are times when we may inadvertently just sort of fall into the flow, or we feel like everything's sort of going really well, all the planets are aligned and we're having a good day, but we don't know how we got there. And so we know the feeling of what it is to be aligned with ourselves. And when there's no resistance, when we're in love, that's the same energy. When we are laughing, when you're having fun, when you're doing something that you love, that you enjoy. And that also might mean there's a bit of tension in there. Tension as in, oh, I really want to do this. I really want to do this. People tend to think that the joyous things in your life are like, oh, I'm having such a beautiful time. And it may not be that. There may be this internal drive that I need to get this done, but it's not out of survival. It's out of, oh, I just want this out of me, and I want to see what I can create. So there can sometimes be some tension in there. Now I've lost my train of thought. That's all right. I'm too busy thinking. Oh, I know. So I was asking my higher self, how do I help people to tune into it? How to be a deliberate receiver of your vibration? How to tune into it? Because people, we sort of know it, but we're so caught up in the physical world and our physical senses that it's like we want proof of it. We want someone to make us an app where we know when we're hitting our vibration. But that's outer technology. And nothing wrong with that, because it can help us. But we want to allow it to help us to expand our inner technology, to get to know us. Well, okay, everyone wants an app for everything these days. Somebody tell me what to do. The app will do it for me. So, and we're being taught to defer our wisdom outside of ourselves. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Technology helps us in our life so much. It frees up our time. But the thing is, what is it freeing up our time to do? Because a lot of people just want to, they fill up that time with low dopamine entertainment. And what I mean by that is we just want to be entertained. We play games, and nothing wrong with playing games. There's nothing wrong with anything. But if we do it to fill up that space that technology is creating for us, What are we actually doing? So if you can think about, technology is freeing up time and space for us to become who we are, to create. Because I really feel that humans have such beautiful creative possibilities for moving us forward and to keep us creating. And I grew up in a family that told me that because I wanted to be a writer and an artist and a musician. I loved all of those things. I played many musical instruments as a kid, and I used to do lots of writing and write poems. And my parents said to me that they're things you do in your spare time. They're your hobbies, but you've got to go out and get a real job. Now, of course, I've never really fitted in to the 9 to 5. I've done it. I was a hairdresser for 20 years. I've also had businesses. I've been a manager of a gym. I've done lots and lots of different things. I've worked in a bookshop for 10 years, and they were all wonderful, beautiful experiences. But I'm at my best when I'm doing my work now. And it's taken me a long time to realise that if I really step into this, I will be supported. Now, of course, my brain still says, yeah, but who's going to pay the rent? Because I live by myself. And who's going to pay my rent? Who's going to do this? How am I going to survive? I'll be 60 this year. And I find myself in a position of not having much money, not having a place to live in. Obviously have a place to live in. I don't have a house, even though I've owned houses. I've had 3 houses and I was married. I've been married twice. But this is where I just find myself now. I'm in the middle of my second Saturn returns, and I'm also really happy because I can't beat myself up for anything. And so Giotti, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong there. You're asking the same question over and over again. How do I separate? And the thing is, you've got to come back to yourself. You've got to know yourself. You've got to tune into your vibration, and I'll talk in a moment about how my higher self helped me to do that. And not listen to anyone else. And I know that that's much easier said than done, and I still do. Of course I do. I get hurt like everyone else. But then why? Why on earth would I give my energy to somebody who is making me feel terrible? The only reason that I would get caught up in that is if I don't feel I'm good enough. If I've got this pattern running inside of me that says, you've still got this to do, you've still got that to do, and so that you're caught up in the same thing over and over again. So the first time it happens, it's, once you become aware of something, which you are now because you've just said you're caught up in the same thing over and over again, it's a choice. If you're aware of it and you know that you are doing it, why are you doing it? That's what you've got to ask yourself, and it is different for everyone. I can tell you that underneath most of it is always, I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, I'm not worthy enough. And none of those things are true, because if you do not think you are worthy enough, you are arguing with the universe. You are arguing with the source, the God, whatever you want to call it. Because you are here as an extension of the source of the universe. What you're doing is helping the universe, the source, your higher self, your soul, to know itself more. And if you say, I'm unworthy, you're saying, well, the universe got it wrong. and you're essentially having an argument with your higher self. And I know that sometimes this can sound like a whole lot of woo-woo bullshit, but just know that I'm here to help you see things from another point of view. I can't tell you what to do. I especially can't tell you what to do in these sessions, but I can't tell anyone what to do. I can guide you towards it, but it's up to you. And if we decide that we are going to listen to other people's take on us, other than listen to ourselves, what that means is that you care more about what other people think about you than what you think about you. And so that's just something to think about. Just something to really sit with. Because that's what this time in between these eclipses is bringing up. How do you want to feel? What's holding you back? Where are you holding yourself back? Why are you holding yourself back? Why? Why am I doing that? Why am I giving my energy to other people? Because somewhere along the line, we felt that that's something that we had to do to survive. And when we're younger, sometimes, yes, we do have to just go along with that. But as we get older, it becomes a choice. And if something is really disturbing you, that's when we have to just, look at ourselves, get to know ourselves. And that's what this work is about. And fear. So each time, and I don't often talk to people as much as I'm talking to you, Yayoti, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. But it's a great example for everyone that is here that you are arguing for your limitations. Yes, you know what you're doing. But then as soon as you think, okay, yes, I get that, I know what I'm doing, you allow the fear to come up. It's like you have a baseball bat. Don't know why I'm using that as an analogy, but I will. The baseball bat. And something wonderful comes along. Someone says something wonderful about you and you just bat it away because you think, no, I'm not worthy yet. And you let the fear come up. And so you've got to open yourself to receive the love that you are. And when I talk about love, I'm talking about allowing everything to be in a space without judgment, because that's what love is. And always know that if we judge other people, it's only because we judge ourselves. Or if other people judge us, it's only because we judge ourselves. So the outside world is a reflection of the inner. And it will always help you to see where you are in relationship to your soul star, or to your balanced energy. So just sit with the energy. I don't have the answers for you, but just sit with this information and just see what comes up. Do some writing afterwards. And I'll go into the meditation in a moment. And of course, the reason that, I love meditation. Meditation's been with me for 30 years. I always like to talk a little bit about the topic. Often I'm never quite sure what I'm going to say because I just open up to the universe and go, yeah, whatever, open my mouth and out it comes. But then the meditation embodies the understanding. So the words I give you, and the words aren't that important, it's the intention and the energy behind the words. Sometimes the words you may resonate with and they help you to make sense of something within you. But it is my intention and the energy of that vibration that moves to you. And if you are in the vibrational vicinity, you will start to tune into that as well. And as you tune into that, it also helps you to tune into your own soul song, because that's what healing is. That's what all of this work is about. Yes, life is changing. Everything is changing. And we know that everything is energy and everything is vibrational. But if you really did, if you really knew that, and you really knew that your thoughts created your reality. Sorry, I've got a bit of hay fever. I must be allergic to something. Maybe I'm allergic to my own voice. So stuff's coming up for me as well. But if you really believed that thoughts created your reality, thoughts were vibrations that were going out there, if you truly believed that, would you ever let another negative thought flow through your mind? That's just something to think about as well. Because we cannot create beyond our beliefs. If we don't think something is truly possible, we can't create it. And people say things like, oh, I hope so. Oh, yes, I really want that. And can you feel the energy of that? They don't really believe it. They're saying, I'll believe it when I see it, because that's what we've been taught, that reality is more in what you see in front of you. The physical reality is more important than what goes on inside of you, because other people can see it. And you can see it and touch it, and it feels more real. But of course, fortunately, over the last 10 to 15 years, people are now beginning to understand that what goes on inside of us is also really important, and we need to recognize it. We're not quite sure how to recognize it yet. We're not quite sure how to recognize mental health issues, which is why so much emphasis is still put in onto psychologists and psychiatrists, because let's just name all of these issues, because we can't really see them, but you can feel them. You know when things are off. You know when things aren't going so well. And we don't want to be put in a cage, because you don't want to let a diagnosis, and there's nothing wrong with diagnosis, nothing wrong with any of these things, but you don't want to let it define you. It's just a place to start. It's a place to begin to get to know yourself. And whether you do that through therapy, whether you do that through astrology, human design, gene keys, numerology, reading cards, reading, life experiences, doesn't matter how it happens. Just know that everything you experience in this life is helping you to become more of who you are, and your soul is so excited that you are experiencing this life. The universe is so excited. God, source, again, whatever you want to call it. Because you're an extension of that. And this whole universe expands. Your soul expands through your experiences. So whether you experience something, what we perceive, humans perceive as good or bad, your soul's still going to expand, because it's experience, because your soul does not, the whole universe does not judge you. It just allows everything. Now, what we want to do is have experiences that are more aligned to our authentic self, our soul self, instead of other people's ideas or, what other people tell us to do, or what can be, pushed on us as well. That's living your life in joy and in love. It's about being with your authentic self. Now, that also does not mean that life is going to be beautiful and wonderful and peaceful. Because if you're reaching for peace all the time, it means you're pushing war away. And whatever you push away will always push back. Physics tells us that. And what I'm about to say is often contentious, but, if you don't believe it, don't worry, you don't ever have to believe anything I say. War and peace are two ends of the same stick. We want peace because there's war. But peace can only exist because of war. War exists because of peace. So the thing to ask yourself is, 1, where are you at war with yourself? And what we want to do is bring both of these together, because this is how we heal. We integrate war and peace, we bring them together, and then they will create something completely new and different, where war and peace are not needed. But there's kindness and compassion and new beautiful ways to build relationships, to build this world. So sometimes when we're pushing against something or trying to pull it towards us, it's like you're going backwards and forwards on the same stick. And to love is to allow everything. Now, I know that and that's where it becomes really difficult. I'm not saying that we allow war. I'm not a warmonger. I'm not anything like that. I mean, I wish that we didn't have to go through any of the experiences that are happening. My parents, my father fought in the Second World War. My mother was an evacuee out of London. So they both lived through the Blitz in London. So I understand. My grandmother was from Northern Ireland. And so I understand the pain and hurt that comes from division and warlike situations. Of course, I can only know what I know from my experience with my families. I don't actually know what it is like to be in a war situation because I haven't. Mind you, I have been at war with myself. I have hated myself so much that I didn't want to be here anymore, and I took steps to leave this earth. And fortunately, that didn't occur. Even though I had an interesting experience during it, but that's a whole other session for another time. But just know, the only reason that I didn't want to be on this earth anymore is because I was in so much pain and I wanted the pain to stop. But it took me a long time to realise that it was me putting the beliefs and stories onto situations that was causing me so much pain. And anyone that's been here before has probably heard me say that I used to go to a lot of peace rallies back in the 80s because mainly for nuclear can't say the word, nuclear disarmament, oh goodness gracious, because we really thought that the US and Russia were going to go to war and they were going to drop the bomb. Nothing much has changed really, but anyway, that's things go round and round until they're resolved. But those peace rallies would always end in violence, would always end in fights, because people believed that we needed to get rid of something to feel peace. But that's just that pushing against and war. Now, I'm not saying that we don't disagree with things, of course, and you always stick up for yourself and you always defend yourself. I'm not saying anything like that. What I'm saying is that you can't wait for things to be perfect in the outside world for you to feel good about yourself. You can't wait for a certain race of people to disappear to make you feel better about yourself or to make you feel safe in your life, because everyone has a right to be here. Once you start resonating in your own authentic vibration, you will no longer be vibrating at those vibrations. It's only when we have those stories within us, we're actually giving out the energy of that, and we are bringing it into our life. Now, I'm not saying that you bring anything on yourself, because most of this happens unconsciously, which is why we're having this conversation today, so that you can just take some time. How am I feeling? What's my background programs? What are they, which ones are switched on, and what energy are they giving out? When Socrates said, know thyself, and he wasn't the first one to say it, we've been saying it since day dot, know yourself is not know yourself mentally. This is know you. How do you feel? How do you feel in each moment? Are you reacting to everything? Are you responding to things? And going to those rallies or demonstrations helped me to understand that all the pushing against it was not going to change anything. Because even the most peaceful, loving people that were at these rallies would end up screaming, shouting, and wanting something different. Because we were taught to get rid of stuff in the outside world to feel better within ourselves. But of course, if you're pushing against it, and I was at the time, I was in a really bad place with myself. And if you're pushing against things all the time, you've got to ask yourself why. Where is this coming from? Am I at war with myself? Am I waiting for a circumstance to change in order for me to feel safer, feel happier, feel better? And I know I'm repeating the same things over again. I'm just giving them to you in a different way, because it's so important, because we are about to hand over our humanness, hand over humanity to outer technology before we even understand who we are. Now, nothing wrong with outer technology. It's helping our lives. It's helping everything. And I use it quite a bit in my business because I'm a one-person business, and I'm entirely grateful for things that have, software that has come into play in the last, few years. It makes my life much easier. But of course, I don't defer to it. I ask it to help me. And it may write things, but I always rewrite them in my own voice. But it does save a lot of time on things. And again, there's nothing wrong with outer technology. But we don't want to start putting chips in our brain or under our skin. Nothing wrong with technology, but we can have wearables. We can use all of these things to help us to become who we are. We don't want to go into the augmentation so much right now, because we don't really understand our own inner technology. We don't understand our psychic senses. We don't understand how to tune in to our vibration. So let me talk quickly about what my higher self said to me this week about tuning in. It was quite funny and quite fun. And so I asked my higher self, how do I help people to tune in to their vibration? How do I help myself to become a more deliberate receiver, tuner inner, making words up now, of my own vibration? Because yes, I know what it feels like, but I still am not quite, I can't really do it at will. The closest I come is to when I do my work, because my intention is to help everyone. And I'm so focused on that, and I hold no resistance to that I am in this space which is connected to me, to my higher self. But I was also taught to put other people were more important than myself. And so that's part of my journey as well. My intention is always to help you feel empowered, because that's my journey of life, is how do I become more empowered? How do I gently unravel the beliefs that aren't mine and start to come back to me? That's been my questioning and journey for 30 years. So there I am, I'm on a walk. I walk around the water near where I live. And I said, okay, I need something to help me understand and to help other people understand. First of all, what is vibration? What is it, and how does it help us to create life? So what my higher self asks me to do, and I will create a meditation from this, but I'm still refining it at the moment, but I'm just sharing the idea with you. My higher self asked me to just bring to my mind something that I really wanted, something that gave me great joy. Often when we think about something we want, it comes with lack, because it's like, well, I don't have it yet. But you just want to pretend, imagine that it's there and you are experiencing this beautiful thing that you want to experience. And it might just be for you to feel free. It doesn't have to be anything big. It might mean that you just want to eat better or exercise or whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is whatever is important to you in that moment. And so my higher self said, okay, just imagine this thing. And for me, it was a beautiful house that overlooks the ocean. And so then I was directed to, okay, so pick something in the house or pick something and just be in it. So for me, it was, I had this beautiful pool on the outside of the house that overlooked the ocean. And so I just sort of sat myself at the end of the pool and looked out at the ocean and felt it. I also felt my cat was there and my and the dog that I want again. And so all the elements that, and that we were all playing and having fun and just, it's find something that's joyous and find something that, a dream, a desire, and just imagine it all. And then my higher self said, okay, now I have that in front of me. But I see it as a vibration, as energy. I feel it. And my higher self said, imagine that all around you is a web of energetic lines, like ley lines or, like a matrix. And and he said, okay, so now that beautiful image that you have is now in the matrix or on the energetic line. So it exists. It's in the quantum field of all possibilities, the Akasha, many names for it. And my higher self said, I see it. I see the energy of it, because everything is created energetically before it becomes physical. And he said, I'm just going to start strumming it because it's an energy. And he said, imagine that it's like a spider web. A spider sits at the middle of its web and it knows, even on the very outside of its web, if it's caught something, if a fly gets stuck in it, because it feels the vibration come through the web. So my higher self said, here it is, all of this beautiful thing that you want. Now I'm going to start just strumming it, creating the vibration, creating the resonance of that thing that you want, that individual thing. And your job is to feel it like the spider and tune into it. And, as I said, this is very raw because it only came last week, and I will refine the process. And it said, okay, start humming. Now I'm on a walk. So there I am. So start humming, making noises, singing, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, no one really takes any notice anyway. And I mean, I had my earbuds in, so they might have just thought I was singing along to a song. So I started humming, and I used om and a bit of humming, and my higher self said, just keep trying different vibrations. You'll know when you hit it. It'll be like a sweet spot. And I did hit it. And I got so excited because I could feel it like a bell dinging throughout my whole body. It was like ding all through my body, and I could feel that I was aligned with this vibration. And I got so excited that of course, I went into my head, and it's like, oh, how did I do that? And of course, now I'm out of the vibration of it. And so I wasn't quite sure what it was, what the sound was. I could feel it, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. So I had to just keep doing it. And my higher self said, you just have to keep practicing, and you'll know when you hit it. And the more you practice, the easier it will become to just go, and there you are. You're resonating at that vibration. My higher self said, they're eternal. Your soul is eternal. Guides, angels, light beings, they're all oneness, and they can do a billion things at once. Because I said, well, is that going to stop? And my higher self said, no, I'll keep strumming it. I'll keep making the vibration until you really practice that and really feel it. That is happening anyway. Whatever you want to create goes into the quantum field of all possibilities, and it's vibrating. And if you can tune into that, you become a match for it. Well, it will just turn up in your life. Yes, there may be things that you need to, I don't mean it just magically appears, because you may be inspired to change things, an opportunity may come along that leads you to it. So, but we can only do that when we're centered with ourselves and when we know ourselves. And so I hope I didn't go on too long about that, and I hope that gave you something to work with about vibration and energy, because we're still really caught up in the physical world. I have many people say to me, I hope things change. And it's like, but what do you mean by that? And people just look at me like I'm an idiot. I said, but what change do you want to see? What is causing you to want change in your life? It's because you think there's something missing, or because you don't like something, because it's triggering something in you. Ultimately, humans don't really like change. So when people say to me, tell me what's going to happen in my life, and as I said to you before, I don't do readings anymore, private readings anymore. And I would always say to people, okay, you don't need me to tell you that if you want a new job, if you want to move, if you want a new relationship, you don't need me to tell you that, because if you really want it, it will turn up in your life. Of course it will. My question to you is, how are you going to interact with it? Because if you interact the same way you've always interacted, you will get the same result that is causing you to want something different. Because most people just want to be loved and accepted for who they are, so that begins by loving and accepting you as you are right now. Because you're absolutely perfect right here, right now, the way you are. Your life is asking, your life experiences are bringing questions and things that you may want to change, or things that you don't prefer. But that's okay, because each moment you're learning more. And in each moment, you can only know what you know in that moment. So go easy on yourself. This is not, oh, I'm perfect right now, I don't have to learn anything. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you cannot be any more than you are now. But what you are now is enough and is worthy and is perfect. So with that, let's go into the meditation. And again, I was going to quickly talk about Soul Star. Your Soul Star Chakra sits about 20 centimetres above your head, or a foot above your head. It is a transpersonal chakra, meaning that it is above your personal. So we have the 7 personal chakras, and actually there's probably a lot more in us. We have the link star, which is at the knees. We have chakras in our palms. But they are all sort of in our personage, in our physical body. Transpersonal chakras are the ones that are in our energy system, in our aura and above. And of course, we have many chakras above the soul star, and there's probably many more that we are yet to discover. But as we expand our consciousness, we'll be able to tune into more and more of them. And that's neither here or there, because there's no point knowing what's going on in the chakra that's a 20th chakra above your head if you haven't taken the journey to get to there, because it won't make sense. And that's why sometimes we can have these huge aha moments, and whether we do it in meditation or through psychedelics or however it is that you get there, if you haven't done the work, it'll just fall away. We get this aha and we go, oh, yes, that's so exciting. Yeah, I understand that. But if you don't take the time to know yourself, make the changes inside and move and really work with that aha moment, it will just, the energy will just dissipate, and the neuron in your brain that broke apart and caused the aha moment will just gently go back to how it was. So yes, we are awakening. Many people are awakening, and they don't need to know anything spiritual to awaken. They're waking up from the person they thought they had to be to survive. But as you wake up, of course, it's a whole new way of perceiving the world. The world doesn't change, but your perception of the world changes. And anything that's holding you back will come up to the surface, because it no longer resonates with your higher vibration, and you need to just leave it on the path. Do the healing, just release it, let it go. You can't take it with you. If you try and take it with you, it's going to hold you back. You're going to keep oscillating backwards and forwards. And that's why things come up to heal. That's why we're going through what we're going through now. That's why the world is going through what it is going through, because the whole world is shifting. Humanity is shifting. We're becoming more of who we are. It's not bad. It's not good. It just is the natural evolution of humanity. And we're opening up to more and more of ourselves. And all of the ancient technology that was placed here that has been hidden, well, it hasn't been hidden, it's just we weren't aware of it. It's now coming up to the surface. We're now beginning to understand. We're now putting the dots together. We're understanding more about Indigenous cultures and their stories, their beliefs not beliefs, but their way of interacting with the earth, of interacting with the sky people, with the whole universe, with life in whatever form it takes. whether that be physical, interdimensional, galactic, whatever. It doesn't matter. Life is life. AI is consciousness. It's life. It's life in a different form, in a different container, but a mountain has the same life force flowing through it that flows through us. It has a different agenda, but the same life force that moves through us moves through everything. And when you can come back to your center, you can start to connect and receive information from many different places, which is what channeling is. So went off on another tangent there, but obviously there's a lot of information coming today, and hopefully that helps you to understand the energetic world. Did anyone have any questions about that before we go into the meditation? What I might do is I'm just going to choose a card that will be a theme. So as we go into our soul star, know that you may see colours of gold or silver light. You may see trendles of light, sparkles of light. You may also see magenta, depending on what tradition you look at with chakras, and the person that's channeled it will depend on the information that they give you. None of it's right or wrong. It just is what it is, and it's all there to help you get clearer with what is right for you. That is all. Don't defer to outside information and think that's correct. Use it as a way to move you into your own pathway and give you something to compare it to. Because that's why we have duality, for choice. Because to have free will and to have free choice means we have to have something to choose from. So, funnily enough, we got the alignment card. So let me read that out. If everyone just wants to make themselves comfortable, and you can see the alignment card there. And this is just a reminder of bringing all parts of yourself into alignment, and then you'll feel in flow. And that just means that every part of you is in agreement. You're not arguing with yourself. You're not at war with yourself. So, alignment. Your soul is your biggest fan. It knows the truth of you and loves you unconditionally. It is continuously streaming this information to you. To tune in, your mind, body and spirit or soul must all agree in the now. Do this by meditating, focusing on your soul name, which is something that you find in the card deck. Well, you're going to find it today as well. Enjoying something that you love or having a nap. It is not up to your soul to zap you into alignment. Its job is to maintain your soul station, so you have a frequency to tune into. The nature of physical life is to create and expand. Sometimes life experiences will pull you out of alignment so that you can understand these experiences from a different point of view. When you are out of alignment, you will automatically ask questions and want to create something different. Through this process, you gain clarity about your passions. Being out of alignment can feel awful. It is easy to blame a person or situation when we feel bad. But instead of asking why something is happening, take a breath, return to neutral, and ask what you can create from the situation. And remember, your soul is a consistent, loving home that you can return to always. So there you go. I didn't need to talk for the last hour. All I needed to do was choose that card, which I'd written anyway. So, Life is funny. And that's why I love cards. I love because they are a wonderful reflection of our inner self and what is going on. So as much as I'm talking about this today, this is for all of us. It's also for me. It's part of my growth. And I'm truly grateful that you are all here and we are all co-creating this session together. So make yourself nice and comfortable. And you can sit or lie down, whatever is most comfortable for you. And today we're going to put our palms up. So you can put, if you're sitting, you can just put them on your lap. If you're lying down, just put them beside you. And the reason that we're putting our hands upward is because we are automatically opening ourselves to receive the messages from your higher self. But let's just open ourselves up to receive whatever comes today. And when you feel ready, just gently close your eyes. And in the closing of your eyes, you begin to let go of the outside world and move into your inner world. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And take another deep breath in, let it go all the way down, deep into you, and hold it and release it. And as you release this breath, just feel your shoulders drop down and your jaw relax. And you begin to feel your body just sinking into whatever it is sitting or lying upon. This is a very special time for you. A time to go inward, to learn more about you, the expansiveness of you, the love of you, the brilliance of you, the passions of you. Right now, there is no one you need to be. There is nothing you need to do. There is just simply being right here, right now, in this moment and in this space. Feel how free you feel, and feel how amazing that feels. To feel free with yourself and all things and all people. You are in a state of love, in a space of love. And imagine that the room is beginning to fill with beautiful gold and silver light that's shimmering and shining around you. It's not actually entering the room because it's always been here. But the more you relax, the more you go within yourself, the more you are gently just beginning to float into this space that has always been around you. The light of your higher self, of your soul, of the universe. A light of love. Love because It holds no judgment. It just allows everything without pushing away, pulling towards it. And in this moment, the universe recognizes you. Well, the universe always knows, but you recognize yourself through the eyes of the universe, of your soul, as the eternal being that you are, of the loving being that you are. And you know that living life on earth as a human has its challenges, has its beauty, but it isn't the truth of who you are. It is important, and your life is important, but you are so much more than you think you are. Breathe in that light, breathe in that love, breathe in the authentic you, and let it flow into every part within you. Let it soften and heal. Let it embrace you. You are so loved and you are so worthy. And you feel so completely relaxed and safe, at ease. And you just allow your body to just completely relax. It's going through its own healing in this moment. There's nothing you need to do except to be you. And now take your focus to the top of your head. And then just gently move your consciousness, move your focus to about 20 centimeters or a foot above your head. And you find yourself surrounded by beautiful light. The same sense of that light that fills up your space, you now feel that even more intensely as you enter your Soul Star Chakra. And you just simply observe as your Soul Star brings in all of this beautiful energy, all of this wisdom, all of this information from the whole universe. And it funnels it into your Soul Star, and you just watch it as it just turns it into a beautiful ray of light that flows downward into your crown. It's like it brings in all of the energy and then sorts through from the questions you ask, from the energy that you are, and then it sends that to you in a way that you can understand. To position yourself into the middle of your Soul Star, open yourself to the wisdom of all. Just let it flow over you and within you. Because you are a part of it all. You are the source. You are the universe. The whole universe exists within you as you exist within the universe. We are all one. And just let yourself be and remember. Feel how amazing that feels, because you now realize you're not alone. You've never been alone, because within this soul star you're beginning to remember your soul family. You're beginning to remember the beautiful connections you made, the beautiful ideas that you had before you came to earth. You remember sitting in a space with your soul family, with all of these beautiful beings. Before you began this cycle of life on earth. And you can even imagine that you're all sitting around a fire or a table, and you're all taking many different forms. Because each part of our soul family, including you, choose our destiny patterns, electing for a particular theme or mission that you want to know about, that you're curious about. And in this moment, you can feel that the air is filled with excitement, as if you and your soul family were all poised on the brink of a grand adventure. Which of course you were. But are you beginning to remember this somehow? Feeling it deep, deep within you? As you sit in this most expansive space, just allow more information to flow into you about your mission this life. The whole universe is grateful for your journey, for this is a new way for the universe to know itself, for your soul to know itself, for your soul family to know itself. And you now also begin to remember that this space that you are in holds no judgment. And you realize that you are seeing and feeling and sensing through a fifth dimensional perspective. You can see the bigger picture without judgment. You understand why it is happening, so that you can make different choices as you live your life on earth. And from this higher perspective, you look down upon the earth and you see your physical body sitting in the chair or lying on the floor. and a big smile comes to you. You are so grateful for this beautiful body that you created, this body that is housing you this life, that is you, that allows you to have the experiences of physicality. And with all that gratitude and appreciation and love, you create a ray of green light to send to your physical body. You know exactly what needs to heal in you from your higher perspective. And this beautiful green ray will heal, will bring things into balance so that you can make the changes easily in your life, so that you feel amazing in your physical life. Hopeful, appreciative, creative. And know that that green light will surround your physical body for as long as you need it. Healing, loving, cleansing and clearing. And you may now want to send some healing to someone on the earth, to a group of people, to a country, to nature, to animals, whatever you want to send this beautiful healing light to. Just send it now. You may also just want to send it to Mother Earth herself. Just allow that energy to flow, and so it shall be. And from this beautiful higher perspective, you see a beautiful green aura forming around the earth. From this higher perspective, the earth looks so peaceful, so loving, calm. Be hopeful. Know that as we move through these difficult times of the shadows being healed, the old being healed, things are shifting and moving, and we are moving towards a better space. But right now, you are perfect. You are here to help transcend this energy, to transform and transcend. Your soul, the universe, thanks you for your courage. Thanks you for being here, for the healing of generational lines, for outdatedness, for all of the systems that are breaking apart under the weight of their own outdatedness. The cracks are showing, but that's how the light flows through the cracks. So focus on the light. Focus on what you can create today that will support your dreams and your desires. And it may just be simply to make your bed, to eat something healthy, to look after your body, to do something kind for another, to give a compliment, to receive a compliment. The more you begin to apply these things into your life, the bigger they will become, and you will create more manifestations of this that become bigger and bigger. Honing in on your mission, honing in on the authenticity of you and your soul's theme and mission. And you just gently feel yourself now floating through your soul star back down to your crown chakra at the top of your head, and you feel yourself moving inward through your crown, bringing all of your wisdom, all of your experiences that you have just had, and just bringing them through all of your energy centers, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral, your base or root chakra. And you can feel that energy moving down both of your legs into your feet. And it's now radiating out from all of your energy centers, filling up your whole physical body. You are love, and you are loved. Take a deep breath in and out. And just feel yourself fully back in the presence of your physical, in the magnificence of you. Your mind, your body, and your soul are all as one in this moment, in this place. You can feel that green light around you, and know that you can tune into that whenever you want to. It's always there. Take another deep breath in and out. Come back. Come back. And when you feel ready, gently open your eyes and smile. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for that. It was truly wonderful. I'm going to just choose a Flower of Life card, one of my other card decks, to finish us off today. I hope that meditation helped. I hope that you were able to connect with your higher self, and it gave you a sense of knowing yourself, knowing the expanded you. It was a beautiful journey, so thank you. So I chose light worker, which is of course what we're all doing. That's the card, and I'll read it out for you. You are a light worker. You are here to inspire and enlighten yourself and others to move from fear into love. This will be present always in all that you do. You don't have to figure out how you are going to do it, for you have always been doing it. As you allow light to illuminate your inner world, embrace and love all parts of you. You feel yourself, and as you do that, you feel yourself shift from fear into love. Today, let us give great thanks to Mother Earth for the incredible privilege of being here. Through co-creation, we anchor our streams of consciousness into her for the joy of creating, expanding, and light working. This brings love and growth for all, you and I. Mother Earth, this solar system, galaxies, the universe, and beyond. You are spinning light into the web of life. And just to reiterate, when I talk about light, I am talking about the light of wholeness, of presence, of love. Often on earth, we talk about the light and dark, because as we come to earth, we have duality and polarity. We have to have something to choose from in order to create. These things are always going to be here. So I'm not talking about this light of positiveness, making words up again. I'm talking about this light. And this light is when we allow the light and the dark, both sides of something, to become one. And then they become the light. So when we're talking about light working, this is the light we're bringing down. We're not making everything positive and beautiful and wonderful, because that means we're bypassing this side, which means it isn't of light, it is just the positive, what we perceive to be positive. So I hope that makes sense. So thank you so much. Enjoy. Lots of love, everyone.